Grand Rising. I'm Dr. Naima Latif, and you are watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. Welcome to our Wednesday edition. And here on Wednesdays, we talk about repairing family relationships. One of the things that we look at is the tremendous responsibility that we have once we become parents, because we're putting in motion that which is going to affect the future. Today, we'll be talking about the prerequisite class being offered in our new EARTH Homeschool Academy Online. As much as we talk about how the public schools are not adequately preparing our children, we often are not taking responsibility for our role as parents, because there's nothing stopping us from teaching them ourselves. And now, with all the modern technology, it's so simple to do it right from the privacy and comfort from your own home. But it doesn't often go well when parents are trying to homeschool. As we learned during COVID, many parents got frustrated because they realized there's a certain skill to being a teacher. And there's a level of patience and a level of confidence that you need to have. But there's also another quality, and we want to talk about that today. Because before we're prepared to homeschool our children, there are things we need to unlearn within ourselves that will make us better parents. Because parenting is a lifelong process of teaching. So, before we get to our topic today, the launch of our Parenting with Peace class, let's take a look at our global family as we introduce you to the female solution.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Yes, this is the female solution. And as females, we are the ones that shape the culture. And this is why it's critical that we first take a deep and penetrating look at ourselves as women. We are projecting whatever is inside of us. And whatever is inside of us gets reflected back to us in the society. The EARTH Homeschool Academy Online is designed as a school which is preparing a different kind of world. We are not seeking to have our children conform to what is, but to transform into what must be, what should be, what we desire to be. A world that is kind and loving, and above all, peaceful. We cannot do that unless there is peace within ourselves. There are many things that our children will be learning in this school, which will prepare them to create the kind of society that we will be living in. A society in which we cooperate, in which the objective is not to try to have power over someone else or to withhold something from someone else, but to work together systematically, not to compete and have more, but so that all are valued and are participating in the enhancement of life for all. This is a concept which has not manifested in most of our cultures on the earth, but will manifest as we change our thoughts. In order to change our thoughts, we have to change what we put in our minds and what we allow to be put in our minds. If all that we see are acts of violence, acts of insensitivity, acts of cruelty, then we will believe that this is normal and acceptable behavior. We need to create an environment in which it's natural to share, natural to want the best for your fellow beings, whether they be human, animal, or even plant, because we're all participating in one ecosystem. So if anyone is suffering, ultimately, the rest of us will suffer. And this is a concept that must be instilled in a child very early. Empathy. How would it make you feel if someone did that to you? So as parents, when we prepare to teach our children, sometimes we have to go back and think about the unpleasantness that school presented to us, the way we were made to feel bad. This is something that we don't want to repeat. We're believing that this is the way it's supposed to be because that's the way it has been, not realizing that we always had the power to change it to the way it should be, not realizing that there's no reason to make anyone feel bad for not knowing something. The purpose of teaching is to expand the mind and empower the intellect to create. So if we are teaching a child in our home and we get impatient because they don't learn something, and the first thing we want to do is snap at them and make them feel bad. Pay attention. Why aren't you doing this? There are some of us who even had schools where there was corporal punishment used. Children were hit if they didn't learn a lesson, or hit if they weren't paying attention, or hit if they did something that was considered disobedient. So much of our educational experience was coupled with pain. Why would you love learning if learning was combined with pain? Of course, you would not. So these are habits and beliefs and behaviors that we have to unlearn as parents. Why would you feel like you have to scold a child if they're not understanding something? It all comes down to how you feel about yourself. If you are feeling inadequate, you are fearing that your child is going to reflect your own inadequacy. And this is why you scold them. And how did you feel when your parents scolded you? You felt bad. You felt unworthy. You felt unloved. Feeling unloved is at the root of all hurtful behavior toward others. So in our class, Parenting with Peace, there are lessons that will help undo the damage that causes you to feel bad about yourself from what you learned growing up and how you were treated by those who raised you. They did the best they knew how. But truly, they made errors because the people who raised them made errors. Because the people who raised them made errors. Much of our errors in thinking have to do with our belief systems that have been distorted to give us the impression that we are unworthy of love. That core belief is the destructive factor that causes us to malfunction in our relationships with us, with ourselves and with others, because we're believing ourselves unworthy. It's our responsibility to discover and undo any belief system that has been distorted to make us feel unworthy and unlovable. Any belief system that makes us feel that the divine energy of creation, we call God, or whatever name, is punitive and vengeful and mean-spirited. If we're believing that, then we're going to be a punitive, mean-spirited, vengeful parent to our child. And how can we teach them if we are carrying those emotions? Learning must be done with love. Learning must be done in an environment where a child feels safe. They feel safe from abuse. They feel safe from emotional harm. They feel safe enough to try and perhaps make errors, perhaps fail at something, and not fear they're going to be scolded or punished. They need to be able to learn in an environment that encourages their creativity, that encourages their exploration. They need to be in an environment where they are loved unconditionally. Not, I'll love you if you get this problem correctly. I'll love you if you answer this question correctly. I'll love you if you sit still as long as I want you to sit still. Not, I'll love you if you get distracted. Even if you get distracted, I can still bring your attention back without scolding you. These are behaviors that come from our own misguided rearing as children, in which everything was followed by some type of punitive action. How can we create a world of peace when in our homes, in our day-to-day activities with our children, there is constant fear, fear of punishment, fear of reprimand, fear of insults, fear of pain, fear that we're going to be made to feel bad, fear that we're going to be made to feel we're not worthy of love? Our children are going to bring out of our homes into the world whatever we have placed inside of them. And if what we have placed inside of them is the same low self-esteem that was placed inside of us, they will recreate what we now see: a world of conflict, fear, and distrust. So what we must create in them is the love, the acceptance, the understanding, the patience, the creativity, the courage, the excitement and enthusiasm for learning that will allow them to become the best version of themselves as they recreate the world around them. That can only happen when we examine ourselves and undo that which was a painful experience that distorted our personality. So, the first class, Parenting with Peace, is a prerequisite, meaning you must take that first before all the other lessons that you're preparing for your children. And these lessons, as being taught by various instructors, are lessons that you help them review and you help them to master. But it must be done with a spirit of love so that they are able to absorb new information and they're able to explore what they have learned in an environment of acceptance. Many who had the experience of homeschooling during COVID realized that their level of frustration and impatience was so high that they really hated having to try to teach or be responsible for their children paying attention to a computer screen, learning online. Those years were the lost years for so many that were in school at that time. And parents realized that they didn't have what was necessary in their home environment to make it comfortable for a child to learn. And the child didn't have a desire to learn, if not forced. So this is why the New Earth Homeschool Academy Online presents a totally different model of learning. And that model can only be different when the parents are different, meaning the parents have a different point of view, a different objective, and a different incentive for teaching. And they will learn how to parent with peace. So we're going to come back after we have greeted our global family, those who join us all across the world. The wonderful thing about the New Earth Homeschool Academy Online is that because it's online, we have an opportunity to reach our global family with a new thought being instilled into the next generation all across the world simultaneously. So we will see the transformation happening everywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break. So stay with us.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa Sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you. Yes, we want to talk to you. And we want to share with you some of the courses that will be introduced in the New Earth Homeschool Academy Online. First and foremost is the Parenting with Peace class. And this is a class, again, that will prepare parents for the process of teaching. And in addition, we are also introducing a number of classes that will give children skills, lifelong lessons that will empower them with skills that they can share with others as a means of adding to the collective well-being. The world we live in will change because the intentions behind what we do will change. We're evolving from a fear-based society to a love-based society. In other words, rather than us learning things in the belief that we have to compete with people who are trying to take things from us and keep us from having our needs met, we're learning things for the purpose of contributing to the well-being of the whole. So therefore, if a child has an interest in a particular skill or talent or ability, they'll have an opportunity to learn, whether it is a physical skill such as carpentry, how to create things made of wood, or if it is a skill requiring intellectual knowledge, how to calculate mathematical problems that will enable them to perhaps redesign aircraft. They will have the ability to learn the various sciences, technologies, agriculture, because they will be introduced to a course offered by the global organization, Heavenly Culture, World Peace, Restoration of Light, HWPL. And this course lays a foundation so that they are able to understand how all systems interact and are connected, so that what you learn has a basis for how you're going to use that information for the enhancement of all life. And this is a critical point because right now, what we learn is not integrated as part of one system. And so our science is disconnected from our environment. This is why we end up with vehicles for transportation that produce pollution, which causes the life forms that need oxygen, mainly us and all the other animal life, to slowly suffocate and develop illnesses,
Whereas a proper science would encourage the exploration of natural ways of using what is in the environment cooperatively. Things such as solar energy, using the energy of the sun, the natural energy of the sun, to power things. Now, this is technology that is evolving, but it needs to evolve with the right context. Not so much how can we make something and still charge people for that which is absolutely free, sunlight, and exploit people and force them into a slave-like economy where they must work in order to get basic needs met. That system is not going to exist in the future. What will exist is a cooperative way of using the natural environment in order to provide for all the needs: heating, cooling, transportation. It is higher science that is available when we teach our children in a way that gives them access to higher mind, a mind that is not steeped in fear. They will be able to discover and explore, because the intention for learning is not, I must make more money than others so that I can be treated like I'm a better person. There will not be a need for that kind of monetary system in the future. What is desired is, how can I use my creative ability to contribute to the whole, using my intellect, my natural interest, my natural talent to create and enhance life in a way that makes life comfortable and better for all. So, in this course offered by HWPL on the New Earth Homeschool Academy Online, this helps children understand how the ecosystem is balanced and how the animal and plant life must all live together harmoniously for their mutual benefit, and how science must be in harmony with our natural environment, and how science, mathematics, astronomy, agriculture, all of the things work together, geometry, how it's all interconnected. So as you learn these sciences, you learn the concept of unity, oneness. And this is how our children will perceive their environment and will perceive themselves as all part of the one energy of creation. So that kind of lesson being taught in an environment where the home demonstrates a loving, unified atmosphere is a lesson that can be easily grasped and expressed. So this is the next course after Parenting with Peace is taken by the parents who will be the teachers. And the next courses available. As you learn expressions of communication, language taught in a way that helps our children see even the interconnectedness of all the various languages. Our children will learn many languages simultaneously because they are able to grasp language at a very early age. There is a universal form of communication, that heart to heart, mind to mind, soul to soul communication that is available between all living beings as part of how they learn language. Not just the sounds, but what is the meaning? So to say this in this language, it means this. And that same meaning is said in this language, in this way. And that same meaning is said in this language in this way. And that same meaning is said in this language in this way. So our children learning English will also learn other languages. And just as we gave a global greeting to all of our listeners and viewers, our children will constantly be learning various phrases in other languages on a regular basis. So they will learn the concept of communicating with all people in many different ways. To understand the purpose of language is for communication. And again, in the concept of oneness, unity. So as they learn this, then also learning mathematics, learning that everything has a number, and how numbers can help them understand the physical reality in which we live. Everything from the numbers of hairs on your head to the number of stars in the sky, which is beyond counting. But even understanding how to calculate time, distance, motion. And they'll be introduced to the fascinating world of mathematics in a way that opens their minds to exploration. And in a way that helps them to see beyond the numbers and see into very complicated concepts of motion, flight, distance, speed, and understanding how numbers and calculations play a role in all of these things in our physical universe. So mathematics, taught with the kind of enthusiasm and vision that our children need, will certainly take us far into our future so that our children can create and manifest that which will be an inspiration for them and those whose lives they touch. Other skills, such as agriculture, learning how to grow your own food, is another course to be introduced to children as they develop appreciation for the food they eat. And that is coupled with the biology. What are our bodies made of? And how are our efforts to grow what we put into our bodies connected to the earth that produces it? And how the substances in our bodies are part of the earth. And how our earth is nourished by the elements. And so even agriculture, farming, gardening These hands-on activities that parents will be able to guide children in the process. Even if you live in an apartment, you can have a plot of dirt. These are hands-on activities that will allow our children to experience life. Hands-on. These activities. So if our children know how to grow their own food, they will feel empowered, knowing how to provide for themselves, knowing how the earth itself gives them all they need. So even as we introduce subjects that empower our children and give them real life skills, we also teach them history in terms of what happened and where it happened and what did we learn from it, so that our children feel empowered to change things that didn't work well in the past, things that were perhaps hurtful. And this is where we look at economics. What systems did people use to sell, buy, trade, exchange? What systems worked? What systems were hurtful? What systems would be better so that all benefit? And this is where our children have the power to create an entirely different system of exchange and sharing between people. Learning that past systems, whether it was serfdom, slavery, feudalism, or any other system such as communal living, sharing resources, collectively working to farm land or build homes, they will be able to study as they study geography and learn what different people did and what worked in that society and what caused hurt. They will be able to logically, as they study history, geography, and all the related sciences, what part of the earth produces what things that people used to create comfortable homes, and what things did people need to perhaps trade, and how did they go about it? Did they forcibly try to take things where other people lived? How could they have done their exchange better in a way that was peaceful and cooperative? So our children will learn history, geography, and all the things that relate to their earth and the people in it in a way that prepares them to improve upon systems that caused pain in the past, because their intention is to create that which is harmonious. We're going to take another quick break and come right back. And we'll introduce you a bit more to parenting with peace as we prepare for all of the other courses that parents will oversee and supervise their children learning. But first, they must themselves be peaceful. We'll be right back after this quick break, so stay with us. Hi, I'm Naima Latif,
And if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and we will soon be launching the first class in the New Earth Homeschool Academy Online, Parenting with Peace. And this is a pre-requisite, meaning the first class you need to take before you are then able to act as an instructor in the class that your children, your child, those who you will be teaching, will be taking online. And this doesn't necessarily have to replace what they're doing in public school or whatever school you may have them in, but it will certainly give them a good contrast so that as you teach, you will be able to evaluate with them every day they come home from school what they're learning and what is the difference between how they're learning what they're learning. Our children will be able to see clearly that they are in a system that is hurtful. And they will see clearly that their job is to transform the world they live in from the way it is to the way it should be. They'll be able to honestly evaluate when a teacher is unkind, impatient, unloving, and they will be able to see that this is not helpful in inspiring a class. Conversely, they'll be able to judge when a teacher is encouraging, enthusiastic, helpful, and inspiring. They'll be able to judge based on the contrast. So as a parent, you must be the standard by which they evaluate how one should be learning. All things should be done with love. And all things should be presented in a way that does not create pain. So the initial class, Parenting with Peace, it's designed to help parents evaluate themselves and step by step undo the damage from experiences that cause us to react to others in a way that is unloving. Anything that has made you feel less than worthy, less than lovable, any experience that you're still carrying is an experience you're going to pass on to your child. And we'll explore all of those things. Corporal punishment, which we've talked about on various shows, and how destructive the idea is that people require pain in order to make them behave. Parenting with peace teaches you the mannerisms, the methods by which you inspire and encourage a child, by removing incorrect beliefs about the child, such as they're born bad, or you need a good spanking. What's good about being hit? All of these beliefs that are based in a self hatred that was instilled in all of us by parents who didn't know better because that was instilled in them. Being able to evaluate when someone who came before you made an error doesn't mean you don't appreciate their intention, but it means that you are empowering yourself to improve based on having learned, because you are able to honestly evaluate the outcome. If what we see in the world today is meanness and cruelty and systems that are designed to perpetuate pain, then our intelligence should inform us that this is not what we want to carry into the future. We're going to create something different. And that can only happen when you first create what's in yourself, undoing damaging beliefs, thoughts, and behaviors. So we're going to take a look at an introduction done a while ago, Parenting with Peace, to give you an idea of what to expect in the upcoming course that will empower you to be the kind of patient instructor and guide, because you're truly just guiding your children as they interact online with the instructors, with the pre-recorded classes that empower your children to learn at the pace that they need to learn, and empowers you to supervise and guide them, and also empowers you to learn as a family. And this is much different than what you may have experienced during COVID. The frustration of seeing your child didn't really want to be bothered and didn't really want to know and learn what was being forced upon them to be taught. And now you can see that this is education with a very powerful purpose. So let's take a look at some of what will be shared in the Parenting with Peace class.
Welcome to Parenting with Peace. I'm Naima Latif. I'll be your instructor, along with my associates who will offer their insight on topics addressed in this course. Your decision to take this course, Parenting with Peace, is literally changing the world. The souls coming through you at this time, whether it be through you as the mother and father, the biological parents, or if they are to be raised by you as their foster parents, step parents, or adoptive parents, or even grandparents. These souls are here on a very important mission. They are here to prepare for and create a new society, much different than the society we're living in today.
And so they must be raised differently. They must be raised using love and not fear. Your job as their parent is to guide them through the earth experience so that they may evolve into the highest expression of themselves. This 12 lesson course will take you from preconception all the way to age 18 when your child is ready to begin their life journey independently. Lesson 1 is a time of self evaluation. What is inside of you? You can only give what you have, what's been given to you. And some of the things given to us as children must not be repeated in this generation we are raising today. Lesson 2 is pre-conception. Every birth is on purpose. There are no accidental births. Every child makes a deliberate decision to come to this earth experience and they choose their parents. Knowing this, every time you engage in that act of intimacy that opens the door to their entry to this earth experience must be a conscious act because you are preparing yourself for their entry. Lesson 3, conception to birth. This period of time is critical in that the environment within the womb, within the body of the mother, as well as the environment of the household and the place in which the child will be raised, is being examined. And it is influencing the child during that time. And so we must be conscious of the environment we have created for their development. Lesson 4, birth to age 2. This period of time is shaping the subconscious mind, the subconscious memories of sights, sounds, smells, feelings, and they will know in this period of time whether or not the environment they are in is safe or unsafe. Can they learn to trust or distrust? This is what you are teaching during this time. Lesson 5, age 2 to 4. This is the period when the child is expressing their free will, using the language you have taught them, and taking the cues from their environment and the cultural expectations given to them. It's important to listen to them as they express their thoughts because you are learning who they are. Lesson 6, age 4 to 6. This is a time where their creativity and imagination explodes, and it's an opportunity to guide them in their special gifts because this is what they came to give to the world. Lesson 7, age 6 to 8. In this time, they are learning the social environment and making ethical decisions. And it is critical for them to understand empathy and connection to their community, to their family, and to the world as they make assessments of situations and learn decision-making processes. Lesson 8, age 8 to 10. This is a time where they are learning how to navigate the social environment. And it's important to listen as you learn what they have absorbed and guide them in the proper way to assess what they're seeing and make determinations as to what is ethically correct. Lesson 9, age 10 to 12. This is a time of preparation for that biological change that is soon to occur. And they must develop a healthy sexual identity and be prepared for the coming transformation of their bodies. Lesson 10, age 12 to 14. This is the time of the transformation to the physical adulthood. And it happens earlier in female children than male children. So they must understand the dynamics of this change. And we must guide them through a healthy self concept so that they can be prepared for the responsibilities of adulthood. Lesson 11, age 14 to 16. This is a time when their drive toward finding a mate, having that coupling experience, becomes intensified. And we must guide them through the emotional process so that they understand and are equipped with healthy self esteem and understanding of life and understanding of purpose. We must empower them with self mastery. And lesson 12, age 16 to 18. These are the years in which they are ready to envision the adult they are becoming and have become. It is a time of empowerment as well as preparation for independence. This is not the end of their development, but it is the end of your responsibility in shaping them. They now must take what you have given them and become who they came to be. This is a great opportunity that we all are partaking in the shaping and guidance of these souls who have chosen us to be their parents. So now let's begin parenting with peace.
And so, and so, there you have it, the 12 lessons in parenting with peace. We're looking forward to sharing with you the link where you may enroll. Very shortly, we will be sharing that with you, and we wanted to discuss it today so that you could begin the process of preparing yourself for this course, whether you are currently a parent, uh, thinking about becoming a parent, in a relationship where you might be getting with that person as a mate, a spouse, someone who you're going to start a family with, or if you're a single adult and you haven't decided yet. Whatever stage you're in, If you're going to be involved with the lives of children, as it was said, whether you're even a grandparent, a step parent, or a foster parent, this is a course you need to take. Because if you're going to be guiding the souls that have come to the earth at this time, they are here on purpose, for a purpose. And you can be empowered to guide them so that they are successful in their purpose for being here. So get ready for the New Earth Homeschool Academy Online. Get ready to be a powerful instructor as you go through the course, Parenting with Peace. I'm Naima Latif. Thank you for joining us today, and join us every day. And we thank all of those who have watched us, and to our wonderful Monday morning mindfulness host, Zelda, who says, Grand Rising, beautiful Queen Teacher. Where was this peace school when we were kids? The next generation will benefit greatly from this new way of being. Awesome. Yes, I would say that every awful thing that we experienced was preparing us to be the teachers that we are now. So even bad things are used for the good. And we remember what we went through, which is why we now know to do something different. Thank you so much. And come on back tomorrow. We're here every day, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Time. For the Female Solution, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. So until next time, continue to shine your light.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archive. We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.